Ukrainian-American Donna Volansky is shown as the picture of her grandfather's family, which was taken shortly before his arrest in 1929. Back then, Ivan Shary organized secret lessons of the Ukrainian language that was suppressed in the Soviet Union.
Lecturers were ordered to switch to Russian at universities. My grandfather did so, but his students asked him if he could meet them in a different place. He agreed. But then one of his students reported on it. My grandfather and his students were arrested.
Ivan Shary was one of the suspects in the so-called case of the Union for the Liberation of Ukraine. This show trial was invented by the State Political Directorate in order to discredit the Ukrainian intelligentsia.
They tried to make people think that Ukrainian intellectuals were saboteurs, that they used Ukrainianization as a tool for making Ukraine independent, which would never be accepted by the Soviet Union.
Even 3 years before Ivan Shary's arrest, his young daughter Lyudmila had to pretend that her family only spoke Russian.
She was little. She was 4 years old and had to go to kindergarten. Her mother asked, "Lyudmila, do you love your mom and dad?" She replied, "I do. Do you want us to be with you?" "Yes, I do." In kindergarten, they will ask you what language you speak in your family. You must reply in Russian.
At the time, it worked. But not 3 years later. Donna Volansky's mother was 7 when she saw her father for the last time. Ivan Shary was sent to a prison in Kyiv. Later, his wife Marta learned that he would be transferred to Kharkiv. She managed to see him, but only from a distance.
As you can see from the picture, he was black-haired. After those 2 weeks in prison, his hair turned gray. They tortured him and sent his blood-stained clothes to his wife. She washed them and sent them back to prison. She was not allowed to visit him, only to wash his clothes.
Ivan Shary was shot dead in 1930, just like other suspects in the so-called case of the Union for the Liberation of Ukraine. This trial started a new large-scale wave of the Russification of Ukraine, which continued even after the death of Joseph Stalin.
Any kind of social mobility was only available for Russian-speaking people, while Ukrainian-speaking people could only become slaves in collective farms. Any other choice, let's say to get a job at an enterprise or work as a janitor, a person had to switch to Russian.
Donna Volansky, in turn, was free to speak Ukrainian as her mom left the Soviet Union before her birth. When Donna was 2, her parents moved from Germany to the United States. There, in America, she worked as a teacher of Ukrainian, just like her grandfather, who was killed for defending his native language. Reported by Natalia Chekutun in Ukraine and Pavel and Anna Suhodolsky in the United States for UATV.